Welcome to the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast, where it is never too early for fantasy football. My name is
Alex.
As always, thank you for downloading, listening, liking, and commenting on our podcast videos. Please join our community by subscribing to us on the socials. Our handle on all platforms is at N2E Fantasy. We are also available on all major podcasting apps by searching N2E Fantasy. Alex, what do we have on today's show?
On this episode of the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast, we are previewing Week 3 matchups of the 2024 NFL season. So, we are going to start our Week 3 primer, going through each matchup one at a time, highlighting anything we think is important, and making our picks who we think is going to win. So, let's get started, Jeff, with the Thursday night matchup. Patriots at the Jets. Anything of note here, and who will you be taking in this matchup?
Nothing of note here. Just pay attention to Breece Hall and start Braylon Allen if Breece Hall is limited or out for this matchup, which I do not expect. But give me the Jets in this matchup. I prefer the run and pass game of the Jets to the Patriots, and I think their defenses pretty much cross each other out. But give me the Jets.
All right. Both teams have good defenses here. Both teams have struggled a little bit on offense. If Breece Hall is out, I am actually going to go Patriots on this one. I think that Ramondre Stevenson and Gibson can help the Patriots get to a victory against the Jets. I think this will be an ugly game. It could even be like a 7-3 game. It could be so bad as far as I know. To me, this is close to 50-50. I'm going to lean Patriots in this one, and I don't like doing that.
Absolutely. The Jets are favored by 6 in this matchup, and the over-under is 38.5, and I might go the under in this matchup.
All right. Giants at Browns. Another ugly matchup. I think probably the smarter play is to lean safe and go to the Browns at home. They've got the better defense. Their offense has some functional parts to it, but I don't think the Giants are going to be completely winless. They have to get a win somewhere. I think that the Giants are close enough to the Browns to sneak out a win this week. So I'm going to go Giants. This is kind of like the clock is ticking for Daniel Jones, and they need to make something happen.
Yeah, I think the Browns are one of the top 5 to 7 defenses in the league, and you have Daniel Jones against one of the top 5 to 7 defenses in the league. I'm going to go the Browns in this matchup. All right. Any notes that you want to say in that matchup? I think everyone is playing that you would start, so substitutes in that one.
Yeah.
All right, we can hop over to the Eagles at the Saints. Whew. This is a good matchup. This is a matchup where I think the vast majority of people will be on the Saints after their hot start and after the Eagles let down on Monday Night Football. And for that reason, I am going to go
Okay. I think this should be a really good game, and I think both teams are coming in much more evenly matched than we anticipated going into the season. But I'm going to take a hot Saints team at home against the Eagles, who may be without A.J. Brown for a second week. So, going New Orleans.
That's true, but there is a trend out there that if a team gets embarrassed in primetime, which I think the Eagles have egg on their face for losing that lead, then typically they rebound the next week. So that's why I was going to go Philly in that matchup. But I like it. 3 for 3 differences after only having one difference last week. Now we are up with the Texans at the Vikings. Alex, I'm going to let you go first on this one because I just went first on the last one.
This is a closer game than I thought it would be also. So I'm going to dig into advanced stats, and the Texans are 0-5 against the Vikings throughout their history. The Vikings are 2-0 and they're hot. I think there's a couple players on the Vikings defense that were on the Texans last year, and I think that the Vikings and Justin Jefferson are going to get the better of the Texans this week. Texans are due for kind of a trap game, and this seems like a perfect trap game.
So you're going to go the Vikings?
Yep.
I am also going to go the Vikings. A great game. This is a game where I would consider betting the over as well because the over-under is 46, and I think both of these offense, especially if Justin Jefferson's playing, then he could potentially this game could be a shootout both ways, potentially.
Conversely,
But
I think both of these defenses are good, so it might go the
yeah,
other way too. It might be
that's true.
a very low scoring game. So
That's true. And the Texans are favored by 2.5 currently on this matchup. All right. Let's hop over to the Broncos. Well, hold on. Do we know any update on Joe Mixon, and who do we start if Joe Mixon isn't playing?
I haven't seen any update on him yet. Well, everything I've seen showed that he played through high ankle sprains before and didn't miss time previously. If that is in fact what he has, there's a good chance he plays. So it'll be close to game time to know for sure. And if he's out, keep an eye out for if Damian Pierce is playing or not as well, and Cam Akers. Those are the two guys to keep an eye on behind him.
All right. Sounds good. You know I'm a Cam Akers guy, even though you have saved in our chat that I never liked Cam Akers after his fumble last week. That was facetious and silly of me to text that to you.
We all know
All right.
text are all literal every single time.
Absolutely. Don't ever take sarcasm out of a text or tweet or X post, whatever we're calling it these days. Anyways, so the Broncos at the Buccaneers are next up. This matchup is very easy for me. I think the Buccaneers defense will overwhelm Bo Nix for the third straight week and give me Tampa Bay in this matchup.
I'll just say, same. Would it surprise me if the Buccaneers somehow lost this matchup to the Broncos? No, but I don't think that's likely. So we're both Buccaneers this week.
Don't bet on it. And if you still are in a survivor pool, this is a matchup that I would take for the survivor pool this week. Although previously Tampa Bay was the team that would eliminate me every year. So take that with a grain of salt.
All right. All right. So we have three differences, two sames. Jeff, will that continue with this next matchup? Packers at the Tennessee Titans. Jeff, I'm 100% sure I know which way you're going. I'm going to surprise you by going the opposite direction, and I'm going to go Tennessee with this one. I think Tennessee's defense has been surprisingly good the first 2 weeks. I think they know everything there is to know about Malik Willis and how to shut him down. I think that Tennessee will focus on shutting down the run game with the Packers. So I expect this to be a very close game, and Tennessee very likely has a chance to win it. So I'm going to go Tennessee. So, Jeff?
That is awesome. This is the matchup that I have 50-50, the most 50-50 of the week. I'm going to go the Packers in this toss-up. I do believe that Malik Willis will also be able to give Tennessee inside information on Will Levis. And because they played together for a whole year as well. So he could give them tells and signs and stuff that other teams may not be able to give them. But then it's a Pollard versus Jacobs game. And I think you're starting all of your players in this matchup, and I probably would bench every single Packers receiver if I could.
All right. Bears at Colts, Jeff.
All right. So this is a good matchup. I think the Bears defense is better than advertised so far. And I think the Colts run defense has been really bad. So that means that either DeAndre Swift or Khalil Herbert are going to benefit from that. So I would consider starting up Khalil Herbert this week. And you may need to anyways because of all the injuries at running back and receiver, and it bumps all your flexes up one extra spot with all these injuries. But in this matchup here, I do believe in the Colts this week, and they won't start 0-3. So give me the Colts at home.
Hey, I also agree there. I'm also taking the Colts.
Wow. Well, Anthony Richardson to get off the. I'm not sure Anthony Richardson's going to look good in this game,
No.
but I do expect them to win still because I don't think Caleb
Yeah.
Williams will look good either.
This will another defensive game with a couple of big plays from playmakers.
Yep, and we saw Khalil Herbert vulture a touchdown from DeAndre Swift last week, and so maybe Khalil Herbert will be getting some more run in this game and against the lousy Colts run defense, as you had mentioned.
This next matchup is going to be a little bit of a litmus test to see how Jeff feels about these two teams. So the Chargers at the Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers because I think they were a playoff team last year. They improved this year. I'm going to take the Steelers at home, especially. That defense is going to shut down the Chargers. Jeff, do you buy into the first 2 weeks of the Chargers' success, and will it continue against Pittsburgh?
So I think these two teams are the two of the top 7 defenses in fantasy and in real football right now. And I think at the end of the day, stifling defense is more worrisome for Justin Fields than it is for Justin Herbert. And yeah, so give me the Chargers in this matchup. I also believe the Chargers have the better coach. Justin versus Justin.
All right. Yes, the Justin off.
The Justin Bowl. The Bird Bowl. No.
I don't think that there's a Bird Bowl this week.
There
it didn't
is
work out
not,
this week.
Nope. I know. I just had to bring it up because you didn't bring it up on our previous podcast. But for the Chargers, you're going to have to look out for Josh Palmer potentially not starting. And I probably would start J.K. Dobbins over Gus Edwards at this point because I know some people drafted both of them to kind of see where everything would shake out and land. And obviously Justin Fields is going to play this week, so you could fire him up if you're desperate for a quarter.
Okay.
We can hop over to the Dolphins at the Seahawks next. So the Tua-less Dolphins. Alex, I'm going to give you my pick in this matchup. It's a very easy pick for me, but I also need to know from you if you're going to start Hill or Waddle this week. But give me the Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks as well. I don't know if I'd start Waddle. If you have another legitimate receiving option, I would consider starting them over Waddle. With Tyreek Hill, I feel like one catch could blow up and get a touchdown or a big play. So I feel like you have to start Tyreek Hill. You just downgrade him to more of a wide receiver 3 with huge upside than the wide receiver 1 that we were treating him as.
Yeah, that's sad. I don't like to hear that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so we'll move on to the Panthers at the Raiders. You are first up on this one. This is the Dalton-led Panthers versus the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I think that they're the better team. I think that their defense is better than the Panthers' offense. That's pretty crucial. And I do think that the Panthers will be better this week than they have the past 2 weeks. So
yeah, and for that reason, give me the Panthers an upset here. This is a game where they need to win. Season could go off the rails really quickly, and we know Tepper has a temper and could fire anyone at any given time. So Canales better start looking over his back. Although I think Canales is probably guaranteed 3 years to take this job. All right, we got the Niners at the Rams next up, and I am up first. Rams are decimated, so go ahead and give me the 49ers in this matchup.
I feel exactly the same with this matchup. So I'm trying to see what that brings us to. 4-2, 4-3, 5-3.
Count 6 differences.
5-4.
Counts 6 differences so far, Alex.
Yep. 6 differences to 5 sames so far. And the differences probably continue with this next matchup, Lions at the Cardinals.
Absolutely, and I
want to pick the Cardinals, but I can't quit the Lions, so I'm going to go Lions for this matchup. I feel like you have to start everybody on both teams in this matchup. It should be a high-scoring matchup.
It should be. I'm going to go the Cardinals in this matchup. But the over-under is at 52.5, probably one of the highest of the week. They rarely get that far over 50, and the Lions are favored by 3 right now. So the Rams were favored against the Cardinals last week as well, so we'll see.
All right. Another difficult matchup to decipher, the Ravens at Cowboys. Jeff, where are you going with this one?
So this is a very hard matchup because the Ravens risk starting 0-3. Cowboys were kind of embarrassed at home last week. I know both teams want to rebound. This actually has a potential to be a much higher scoring matchup than it's advertised for. Ravens are favored, but I'm going to go the Cowboys in this matchup.
I'm also going Cowboys in this matchup. They're at home. Cowboys, to me, are a better team than the Ravens at this point, but they both desperately need a win.
This is a toss, though. I like it. This will be a good 4 o'clock game for us to be watching.
Okay.
Right.
We have the Chiefs at the Falcons now. I am still taking the Chiefs basically any week, so I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I have a theory that the Chiefs are bored right now. And like Patrick Mahomes is just trying to simulate the season to get to the playoffs, like he's playing Madden. But to your point, I will take the Chiefs as well in this matchup. I would not be surprised if Atlanta does win. Last second heroics of Kirk Cousins again. Any idea who you'd potentially be starting for the Chiefs at running back if you had to?
If I was forced to, I would.
Okay, sounds good. And then also the Falcons. I don't know if you noticed this last night, but the Falcons were using Tyler Algier almost as much as they were using Bijan. Do you think that continues, or what was the purpose of that?
Definitely want to. They definitely want to split carries between the two of them and try to make him a thing. But I don't think he's going to put up the numbers that Bijan will this year.
Sounds good. Now we're down to the last two matchups. We have the Jaguars at the Bills. Give me the Bills in this matchup because, we don't like the Jaguars on this podcast, I guess. I like the Jaguars.
All right, I'm going Bills in this one. They're just the better team. Jaguars
Bills might be a top 5 team right now.
Yeah.
They
Jaguars could rebound and find some offense, but until they do, I'm not going to favor them.
Yeah, and this is a game where the Bills could let the other team hang around. They've been known to do that mid-seasons a few times, but I don't know. They're a pretty scary team to play right now, the Bills. And we have the last Monday night game. So there's 2 Monday night games this week. So just keep that in mind when setting your lineups. And the last Monday night game is the Commanders at the Bengals. The 1-1 Commanders at the 0-2 Bengals. Who are you taking in this matchup, Alex?
I'm going Bengals. They're a much better team. It's now week 3. We've seen them get ramped up over the first 2 weeks, and now with the way that game ended against the Chiefs, I'm sure they've got some fire in their belly, and they're going to take it out on the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go the Bengals as well. I just see them progressing each week, so they're going to eventually get over the hump. And I don't think the Commanders have a very good defense, and I think the Bengals have a very good offense. So I think that's not a good recipe for the Commanders.
Right. So I think 7 differences this week. That's a lot.
So someone's going to win and someone's going to lose unless we have a tie.
Yep. But we will find out next week. So that does it for this episode of the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast. Thank you all for downloading or listening to this episode. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please leave us a comment, share the show. Every little bit helps.
You can find us on all podcasting apps by searching N2E Fantasy and with our handle at N2E Fantasy on all social media platforms. Please join our community and give us a follow. Until next time, take care of yourselves. And remember, it's truly never too early for fantasy football. Thank you again.
Hi, everybody.